Welcome into another episode of Three's a Crowd on the UCF Game Day Edition. I'm Preston Vargas. Alongside me is Eli Atwood, our co-host. And Eli, we had a game Thursday night, but it wasn't what we thought it would be.
Bit of a snoozer, yeah. Not much of a game at all.
I mean, the Broncos won 10-7. Bo Nix, a touchdown pass, 150 yards, two picks. It didn't look pretty for the Broncos, but they're 8-2. But are they a good 8-2?
I would say they're definitely, as far as 8-2 goes, they're a fraud. I mean, they're not a bad team. I still think they're a playoff team. They're just not an 8-2 team. They really should be around the 6 wins, I'd say.
Are they Their biggest win was against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road, winning there. That's their only win against a team with a winning record.
I mean, definitely a big win there, but that's their only good win, like you said.
Um, I mean, you have a bunch of other results. You blew out the Cowboys, which you know the Cowboys are who they are. They won a last second win against the Texans. But I think when you go to the playoffs, I think the Broncos might be eliminated in the wild card round, depending on who they play.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think they're still the favorites for the AFC West at this point?
I mean, it's possible, but the Chiefs are definitely starting to make a bit of a comeback here as well. So we'll see what happens throughout the course of the season.
According to CBS Sports, the Broncos have a 60% chance to win the division. Now, if the Chiefs win last week, that's going to make it, or they lost last week against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
They're on their bye this week. Let me see the margin. Chiefs are 2.5 games behind. I think that might be,
Yeah. I think the Chargers are probably closer than the Chiefs even.
they are at 1.5 games behind. But
Yeah.
the Chargers, I don't see. They lost Joe Alt for the season. I
Yeah, they're too injury riddled
I think that's going to catch up to them down the stretch.
for
But
sure.
looking at the rest of the AFC West race, I think Kansas City can definitely catch them. I mean, they still play them twice. They play them next week on Sunday at 4:25. That game's in Denver, and then Christmas Day they'll play them. That's going to be a crucial matchup for Christmas.
Yeah, should be a good one.
But I think the Chiefs, they let me check their schedule. I mean, they'll have to if the Chiefs want to catch them, they got to play Indianapolis coming off their oh no, they play the Broncos coming off their bye. Obviously, that's gonna be a big one. They got Indianapolis, Dallas on Thanksgiving. It's gonna be, I think the AFC West is gonna be the most interesting race in the AFC for divisional status.
Yeah, I agree. I think easily.
Then we'll move on to our game previews. We'll go with the three biggest games of the week across the NFL. By time slot, this will be a Sunday at 1 game. The Patriots will take on the Buccaneers. Drake May looking good, getting the win last week against the Falcons. And then Tampa Bay, they come off their bye week. They're getting healthier. What do you expect from this game?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of a shootout of a game. I think a lot of people think the Patriots are coming in as a bit of a fraudulent team. See if they can prove it here.
I mean, I don't think they're a fraudulent team, but I wouldn't say they're big contenders either. I think they're more of a playoff team. Right now, they're 2.5 point underdogs to the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield and Drake May both playing at pretty high levels, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think if I had to give the edge to anyone, I think I would have to pick the home team, the Buccaneers. I think with the Buka coming back, Bucky Irving, I think he's expected to come back. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think with the Bucks offense coming back, I think uh, Drake May will be in trouble on defense, especially if the Bucks give pressure.
Yeah, for sure. I could definitely see the Bucks winning this one here as well.
I think my score prediction for this one, I'm gonna say 24-21 Bucks.
I'm gonna go. I'll go 22-21 bucks.
And then moving on to the Sunday 425 slot, America's Game of the Week is in Santa Clara for this big NFC West matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers. That we know the Niners beat the Rams in Los Angeles when they played them on Thursday Night Football a few weeks ago. But obviously, we know the Niners are a different team now. What do you expect from this game?
Yeah, I think this could be a good game, you know. I think Purdy might be playing from what I saw. He's questionable, I think, so maybe he'll come back, but even if not, I don't know how much that changes things, but it should still be a good game.
I think they're still preparing for Mac Jones to start, which he's been balling out pretty good so far this season.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it'll depend on who plays for the Rams. If Puka Nacua can is he back? I don't know. Is he?
I'm not sure to be honest with you, Preston.
But if he comes back, I think he came back last week and left. If he comes back, I think that the Rams can win this game. Obviously, you have Fred Warner out for the season. You got a big blow with Michael Williams out for the season with a torn ACL. Honestly, I think the Rams will win this one on the road.
Yeah, I could see it happening. I think I would probably slightly favor the Rams also, just because I feel like what we get out of the Rams is a little bit more consistent.
And I'm also taking the Rams too because we need the Niners to lose for Bears playoff positioning
True.
to make that a little more easier for us to get in. And then our final game preview comes to us from the NFC, the leaders in the NFC East and NFC North, the Green Bay Packers hosting the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football. Obviously, a big game for NFC for number one seed implications. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good game here, but I don't know. The Packers have been sort of a weird team, losing to teams that they should be beating, and then beating other teams that they should be losing. It's kind of a hard prediction, honestly. But with Tucker Kraft going out, you know, I think the Packers maybe aren't in the best spot here, and the Eagles might just get it done.
I'm the Like you said, the Packers they lost to the Panthers last week, a game that they should have won. The Eagles are coming off their bye; they're getting more healthy, and the Packers are losing Tucker Kraft. In my opinion, the Packers are one of the biggest frauds in the NFL.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. We'll see how it goes the rest of the season here.
Right now, I think Green Bay is they're 2.5 point favorite according to CBS Sports. But I think the Eagles will win this game by 10. Jalen Hurts will show why the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley will have a big game as well. I think Micah Parsons will get a sack for the Packers, but I think it's not gonna be enough. Eagles by 10.
Hey,
And then we'll move on to college football. Our game of the week is BYU and Texas Tech from the Big 12.
oh
Two
yeah,
teams
that's a big
that
game.
UCF still have on their schedule, unfortunately.
Yeah, not two teams that you want to see on the rest of the schedule. This is probably going to be the Big 12 title game too, so sort of a precursor for that potentially.
Definitely a preview for the Big 12 title game. I think the winner of this game will more than likely be in the Big 12 title game. Obviously, you got
Yeah,
some teams lurking around like Cincinnati, Utah, a lot of good teams still to play.
for sure.
And Texas Tech, their only loss of the season came to on the road to Arizona State by 4. And then Utah, actually, they're 8-0 right now. So this is definitely a big test for both these teams. BYU, I think going on the road, I, I think BYU, this will be their biggest test of the season, going on the road to a hostile environment in
For
Texas Tech,
sure.
and then I'm losing my train of thought here. Sorry,
It's
uh,
okay.
but Texas Tech, I think, will probably get the win at home. They're favored by 10.5, which, in my opinion, is a big spread.
That does seem like a large spread, yeah, for two good teams. I mean, I get the home advantage, but still.
But BYU, I think, can cover that. But I think Texas Tech will win at home.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. It's gonna be a good game to watch out for tomorrow.
And now, as we go into our game picks, obviously the first pick we had was BYU and Texas Tech, and we both said Texas Tech winning that one.
Yeah. I
That's a
would
good
not
way.
take Texas Tech by 10.5, but I would take Texas Tech.
And then that's a good way to start it as we go to our next game. This one from the Sun Belt. Southern Miss is taking on Arkansas State. Who you got in this one?
Honestly, not too familiar with either of these teams this season. I know Southern Miss has been kind of turning things around lately, so I'll probably just take them here because of based off of that.
I don't really watch the Sun Belt that much. Usually, I did last night with that big ending. Georgia Southern, I think it was beating App State by 2. I think I'm going to pick Southern Miss here on the road. Then from Conference USA, Jacksonville State's taking on UTEP. What you got here?
I mean, UTEP's been a joke of a team for years. Jack State, I saw them versus UCF. They were kind of competing. I think I'll go with Jack State here.
I agree with you too. Jack State definitely the better team coming in. UTEP is 2-6. I don't know why that game's on the board.
They definitely have some interesting choices this week. I guess they're just trying to mix it up some.
They usually give us games that you think is going to have a 50-50 shot from what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
And the
But
big game in the SEC, two former Big 12 teams, Texas A&M versus Missouri. Who you got here?
this is definitely going to be a good game. Missouri at home, Texas A&M coming in as the higher ranked team. Even though Missouri's at home, I'm still thinking Texas A&M. They've been pretty unstoppable this season.
Texas A&M, I didn't know they showed us as even if we picked against them against LSU, they blew them out in the second half. I think Texas Tech is the best team in the SEC right now.
Yeah.
And we got Oregon taking on Iowa in the Big 12 or Big 10, excuse me. Who you got here?
I've liked what we've seen from Iowa here in recent weeks. They're at home. They've kind of been improving on offense. I think I'm going to take them to get the upset here.
Interesting. But I'm not going to count Dan Lanning out. This team going on the road that you theoretically should be beaten. I'm going to go with Oregon. Then we got Iowa State, Iowa's main rival, taking on TCU in the Big 12. Who you got here?
TCU's kind of been coming back through here this season, and Iowa State's maybe taking a bit of a fall off. So it's a bit of an interesting matchup here, but TCU's at home. I'm going to take TCU.
I'm really surprised at the fall off that Iowa State's had this season. I mean, before the season, they were my pick to win the Big 12, but I think TCU they're quietly flying under the radar. They're 6-2. I'm going to take them at home. And then staying in the Big 12, we got Kansas versus uh Arizona. Who you got here?
This is a tough one. I haven't been picking the underdog too much. I'll go Kansas just because of that. I feel like both these teams are pretty equal going into the game. I mean, obviously you got a little home field advantage for Arizona, but maybe Kansas just has something to push them over the edge.
This feels like a big time basketball game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
These two teams. But in terms of football, both teams have been surprising, to be honest. But Arizona, I think they're flying under the radar. You got that home field advantage. I'm going to go with Arizona. Then moving on to the ACC, we got Wake Forest taking on Virginia.
Yeah, I'm taking Virginia here, no question. This might be the most confident pick I've had all day. Wake Forest has looked really bad in recent weeks.
Wake Forest is, I think they're a bit underrated.
Yeah.
my opinion. I think that Virginia, if they want to go to the ACC championship game, I'll have to check their schedule later, but they're bound to slip up, in my opinion. But I don't think it's going to be this week. I'm going to take Virginia. Then we got Florida State and Clemson, two disappointing seasons for both of them. Who you got?
Yeah, Clemson, I think they're going to be desperate for a win at home. I'll take Clemson here.
And Clemson's 3-5. Florida State's 4-4. Obviously, not where you want to be at this point of the season for either of these teams.
No, it's really a bad look for the whole conference, honestly.
On both were or Florida State wasn't top 10. Eventually got to top 10, then teetered down. Got the win against Wake Forest in a blowout fashion last week. But Clemson, I don't know what's wrong with them this season. And they were a top 10 team to start the season. They lose a bunch of games that you shouldn't. You blew out North Carolina, and then you're 3-5. I don't understand it for them. But I think if they want to make a bowl game this season, and it's absurd that we're talking about them potentially missing a bowl game after making the college football playoff in underdog fashion last year. Huge expectations. I think Clemson needs to win this game to make a bowl game. And then in the Big Ten, we got Nebraska taking on UCLA. What you got here?
UCLA, they had that rough start, but they have been looking better in recent weeks. Nebraska, on the other hand, has been fairly consistent, but Rayola's out, I think, taking UCLA on the road. Nebraska's going to be struggling coming off that time change.
Like you mentioned, Rayola out for the season with that broken fibula he suffered against USC, I think it was, at home last week.
Yeah.
And then going out to the West Coast taking on UCLA. I think it's going to be a tough game for Nebraska. Like you said, UCLA has been pulling some surprising wins out of the Big Ten. I forgot. I know they got blown out by Indiana a couple weeks ago, but I think I'm going to pick UCLA in this one. And then those are our game picks for the week. We thank you guys for watching this episode of Three's a Crowd. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Eli and I are going to be at the UCF game tonight. Go Knights!
Charge on.
Thank you guys for watching.